Hello, welcome back and welcome in. My name is Nikki Wheeler. If you're interested in gaming, go subscribe to my other channel and follow my Twitch to see my gaming live. Now, let's start this video. Today, I will be discussing Doja Cat once again. This time, I will be going in on her newest album titled Scarlet. It is a 15-track album, and I might touch on every song, but briefly. I think the overall point of this album was to prove a point and to saturate Doja's personality into her music more than she ever has in the past. Obviously, she went from her hot pink personality jumping to red with the single and lead track Paint the Town Red, one of the most addictive songs of 2023. This song was a fusion on fusion track with a sample of Walk On By Dionne Warwick, including the jazz and hip hop fusion genre, and then she goes on to rap about people who've disliked and hated on her for her change in appearance. The song itself was pretty good, and I can say I did have it on repeat for a while. The only thing I didn't like about it was the music video. The second half of it was kind of cool, but the first half kind of bored me. The visual effects of it all were pretty impressive though. I do know that this was one of those songs that people only know the chorus of because it was all over TikTok with a dance. So lyrically, it is a little more simple, but I knew I was in the realm of a Doja song just by the way she delivered her lines. But a lot of people criticized her for it being a Planet Her 2.0, which I can't really see whatsoever. The vibe is completely different. She seems indifferent and is telling people off while she was trying to attract people with Planet Her. It is like a complete turnaround. And I think that goes with the rest of the album too, not just this song. Then that would lead us to the second song, Demons, which has been clowned on more than Doja herself has in this past year, though this is definitely a top tier song for me. It is really different from the rest of the album because it's horror rap, which, if you don't know what that is, you can think of Insane Clown Posse or Twisted. As much as I dislike the video for Paint the Town Red in the first half, the music video for this song does not disappoint. It is obviously meant to be weird, dark, and freaky, and I was like all in for it. The song again addresses the criticism and insults Doja has received on a daily basis, specifically the idea that she has turned demonic or has sold her soul for fame. It isn't necessarily her strongest lyrically, but people clowning on her lyrics on this track to me are just looking at the front and not looking at the actual reason why she said something, because the whole point of the album was for Doja to prove herself as a rapper, so why wouldn't you read into the lyrics? I think this song had the intensity and vigor of a normal horrorcore song, but had the Doja twist we have come to love over the years. Out of all of the songs on this record, I think this one should be looked into more. Now, the third track, Wet Vagina, was questionable for me. I think the beat itself was good and the lyrics were alright, not the strongest either, but I feel someone like Rico Nasty could have easily taken the track and made a better song with it. The delivery is what I really see a problem with and not the lyrics themselves. It isn't really giving the power Doja wanted to, at least to me, and it sounds partial. Fuck the Girls, or FTG, was the fourth track, and it was an improvement from the last song. Lyrically, this is one of my favorites. It's criticizing the misogyny in the music industry and the way that women are constantly pitted against each other, and this message was personal to Doja because she has constantly been compared to people she has worked with like Megan and Nicki Minaj. This also isn't the first time this topic has been brought up by her. Most of Planet Her, and mainly the song Woman, was on the topic and was hands-on with it lyrically. This song, though, was different in the way she said the message. Rather than empowering, it felt gritty. Again, this is not a bad thing, just different. Not a top song for me, but a lot of this album will obviously take time to adjust to because it does do some things abnormally. I would love to see a video for this one because I want to see her Scarlet twist on it. The blood, vintage takes, and clothes she did this era was solid, so seeing a visual for this one would be so fun. This was also a good song composition-wise. The setup of it was nice and played well into the fifth song, Ouchies, which was my second favorite song. This song is a confrontational anthem where Doja asserts her dominance and dismisses any competition or criticism with a fight and ice mentality. Counting rounds with the bell ding and the beat on top of it with some crude lyrics just make it such an impeccable track. It is sadly the shortest one at 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Going back to the lyrics though, one of my favorite favorite lines was 100 Billies, I'm the goat, no Eilish. Like, that is 3 puns in one. Well thought out and went so well with the song. Again, this is one of the tracks I need to see a video for because I can only imagine what she could do with the red and fighting theme. It is also so good in the fact that the flow comes so easily and has high tension throughout and is harsh. The next song, 97, left no impression on me when I first listened through on debut day, but listening again, I can see more and more information with it. The song is more about being carefree and not giving a fuck. A rebel's anthem with dressing flashy and flexing your new car. The mindset going into the song was clear lyrically, but music-wise, it was one of the weakest on here. Like I said, it took more than one listen for me to fully grasp it because it was dull in comparison, especially coming out of a song like Ouchies. Moving next into the song Gun, we go back into Doja's traditional lyrics talking about sex and making comparisons, and the track holds many references to The Best piece. I think the song is the closest to what we see on Planet Her because I compared it to Imagine beat-wise and speed delivery. It was a really good track overall, but my favorite part was the first verse. It was so thorough and the rhyme scheme seemed so easy for her to flow through, making it seem more confident like she wanted. I can praise Doja for the fact that because 95% of her music is like that, whether it be from Amala or now on Scarlet, she has remained consistent while changing her game each era. The next song, Go Off, was an homage to her hairstylist because of his saying, "Go off, lil' mama." And it is a hype track using it for the confidence boost and to remind herself to showcase her personality, mixing both the bougie and humble sides. Lyrically, it could improve, but stylistically, I actually really liked it. It isn't the most attractive track to me, and the name doesn't really help, but knowing the meaning behind it makes it a touch better. It has all the elements of a summer rap song that has so much more to it than people realize. It is quite simplistic, but that is what made it an okay song. It didn't need to be superb to outshine the rest of this record. The next track, Shut Yo, was a top 4 for sure right after Love Life. Obviously going with the theme of haters and making them be quiet by proving herself as a rapper, she goes hard on this one. The verses are strong and solid pieces with extreme power, and I think the pre-chorus and chorus did a lot of the work for the song. It is repetitive, but allowed the story of the verses to continue a lot more smoothly than they should have. I would have loved to see a more rugged beat and rigid transition. Song 10, Agora Hills, was my personal favorite off the LP, and it is because I love when Doja does her like innocent girl voice like she did heavily on Hot Pink and Cybersex, which is one of my favorite songs by her overall. I can't describe the actual feeling I get when listening to the song because it's kind of euphoric, for lack of better words. The lyrics are funny and add the humor on top of that voice I mentioned previously, makes for a good standalone single and allowed Doja to make a bit of a different song compared to the rest of the album, but still within the realm of the Scarlet era. My favorite lyric is, "Boys be mad that I don't fuck incels, girls hate too, gun to their pigtail." I found it so funny yet so detailed, and it showed Doja's lyricism can be simple but admirable. Next is Can't Wait, and this one can definitely wait. I found it quite boring, especially after having such a good track like Agora Hills right before it. I thought this one could have gone as a last track if she really wanted it on the album, but right here felt very weird. It was very out of place, and unlike Agora Hills, it didn't actually sit right, and it couldn't make up anything better than the simple hip-hop beat. Verse 1 was alright, but the second verse was negligible. It started with a dim light and kept fading throughout the song. Now for Often, song 12 on this record, I actually really liked. I heard on multiple occasions that this song sucked or was poorly composed, but I think the opposite. The refrain right before the verses are probably the reason why people think it was structured weird, but I think it added the effect of reiteration and how this person does these things often. The production itself was also quite meticulous and had a lot of character, at least compared to Can't Wait. It felt surprising to hear such negative reviews for this one, and they're all for reasons that I liked it. I think the part people praised were the weaker ends of it, and it felt loose like the delivery. Most rap songs like this tend to shy away from potency, and I think she did the same. Song 13, Love Life, was another top song solely because of the mixture of style and lyrics. Doja put her twist on this track by using her delivery to change the words and make it truly hers. talking about being grateful and loving her life and what she has make me appreciate what I have like it's infectious. The word love is used with each and every line in the song, but you can't even tell because of the rest of the lyrics being so impactful and showing the care she has for these things. It is hard to make a song repetitive, but not like this one. It is easy to make it annoying with the repetitiveness, like Rebecca Black did all those years ago, or something Lil Pump made. Now, the next song, Skull and Bones, the song kind of felt like it was written more to be a metal song to me, so the music on top of the delivery kind of felt off, and don't get me wrong, the music composition in this one was 5-star quality, but it didn't belong with the lyrics. It was also just over 4 minutes long, but it felt like it ran on forever. She just kept going, and it was endless. I think if she took out the first chorus and made it the intro more of an instrumental build-up, then it probably would have ran like 3 minutes long and be much more palatable to everybody. She dug a little deeper into the new rumors about her aesthetic change and how it got darker, and I think at this point in the album, we get it. It's not what people wanted, but it is the true her. It is herself. And that point is so run dry so far into this album. Again, I'm not hating on this new aesthetic. I actually prefer it, but it just gets to be a bit much when it's all you talk about in this album instead of a variation of that subject matter. Then we have Attention, which was the first single for this new album, and it was absolutely dragged through the mud when it came out because it was quote-unquote a more rap-based Planet Her, and people were saying it could easily fit into that album if she shifted it right. I truly don't see it at all. She didn't even put her Doja spin on this one either, so hearing it for the first time, I thought I was listening to some other artist, and that's not a bad thing. I thought she was shifting styles like she wanted, so to the people saying it was a Planet Her 2.0, I need an explanation for it because I just don't hear it. I think the shift to more rap-oriented music was so strong in this one because it was the first single. She had her point to prove, and it was proven to me. I thoroughly enjoyed this track and can honestly say it gave me the nostalgia of listening to 90s hip-hop and rap. It had clever wordplay, it read people like a book, but was low-key humble. I think it was a great choice on her side to release this song first, and not like other singles like Agora Hill later, because I think people would have gotten mad over that. Balut was the next track, and Doja herself has said it signifies the dish named balut that is a delicacy in the Philippines because it is a half-developed egg. She said the title was a metaphor for the death of Twitter toxicity and the new wave of X replacing Twitter. Lyrically, I think this is the strongest piece on the album, with like metaphors and double entendres and the sheer wit of it all. The music also incorporates the boom bop style, which went well with the imaginative style of rap Doja creates. I can applaud this song so much and understand why it is one of the most praised. Besides the controversy being behind the title and how Doja went about that, it is impressive how this song was written and delivered, but the others I have mentioned to be favorites just hit in a different way that this one can't outdo. The 17th and final track on Scarlet was a freestyle rapped titled What You Mean Freestyle. It was a last minute decision to be added, and for a freestyle, I was surprised. It was decent, but I think Doja strives in writing beforehand because it comes together much easier for her. There aren't many rappers that can freestyle like that and be consistent. Now, I want to talk about my favorite songs and a new album tier list. My top songs were Agora Hills, Ouchies, Love Life, Shut Show, and Demons. Now, the album list did change from my last video with this album. At number 1, I have Planet Her. At number 2, I have Scarlet. Number 3 is Hot Pink, and number 4 is Amala. In my previous video, I did put Hot Pink over Planet Her because I did enjoy it much more, but going back and listening to her albums after Scarlet's release made me realize that I love the ethereal sounds in Planet Her a lot more, and my opinion did sway. But it wasn't by much. Hot Pink is still an amazing album and is a close runner-up to Planet Her when comparing just the two. Adding Scarlet to the mix was a not so gracious but definitely well-welcomed album for me. It had its shining moments and it had its less than good moments as well. I don't think there is ever going to be a perfect album ever, even for some of my favorite artists, and Doja's no different. But the question is, did Scarlet prove Doja right with her rap skills? And I can say, possibly. To me, it did. The writing was good for the most part, and had the Doja elements I was looking for while maintaining the traditional rap structure. It isn't her best album, but I think people are just knocking her for her online stunts and not truly listening to the music in this record. I am also quite tired of the demonic and satanic visuals, but just because it is outplayed and boring now and had no true intended purpose like Lil Nas X did with his Call Me By Your Name video, too much of one constant visual does get very old very, very quickly. I do want to acknowledge Doja did have a reason, but really only for the song Demons. Other than that, this era is going strong to me, and I hope to see more of Doja's true personality and aesthetic. For now, I will end the video there. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe for more content like this. Comment down below for what I should cover next, and until next time, bye guys.